Hello, and we should be live and back with Uncanny Adventures, the Wretched West Call of Cthulhu adventure. Welcome back. I'm Jeanette. I am the keeper in this little adventure, and I've got my players back. Dylan is away this week, so he'll be back next week. We promise to be gentle with Jeremiah, mostly. But other than that, I have my other great players back here, and I will let them say hello again and reintroduce their characters, and then we're gonna jump back into our adventure. So we'll start with, we'll go with Brooke. Say hello again.
Hi, my name is Brooke, or Theater Nerd, everywhere on the internet. You can find, or you can see me playing tonight. I'll shamelessly shill later. I'm playing, Delilah Darling, our badass former saloon girl turned badass Rambo. I don't know. The jury's still out on the Rambo part, but I guess we'll find out.
True. And how about Jamie?
Oh, hi. I'm Jamie. I'll be playing Hudson Devereaux, the deputy sheriff, who still has no idea what's going on, but he's just kind of rolling with it at this point.
Fair enough. And Kelt.
I am the Celts. I'm playing Lucas. Lucas. Little gunslinger, Lucas.
Lucas. Yes.
Horse wrangler.
That is what he is. He's the quiet one in the back who is maintaining all the order on this adventure so far. But yeah, so we're back. A couple things. If you want to help, hinder, or our adventures, investigators, and or me, you can donate. The information for donations is down below in the comments area, but it's you can help them out. And right now everybody's got a natural 20 / a success.
I do?
So,
when did that happen?
I don't know. You do. You still have one. So
I thought I used all of mine.
I'm pretty... Well, we must have gotten one last session and I just missed it. Cool. I appreciate that. Whoever you were, thank you.
And so currently they each have one. And also I'm putting some sound in the background on Twitch. I'm using Sirenscape, so I'm playing some music and some sound effects when working on that. That's new, but trying that. So anyway, last time in our little adventure, our investigators, they convinced the town boss, Jack Stratton, that something dangerous is happening in the hills outside of Pawheton. And Delilah in particular convinced Jack that he needed to do what he could to keep people in town and to draw in those that reside outside of town in the hills and keep them nearby for the time being, while Delilah, Hudson, Lucas, and Jeremiah dealt with the situation. Jack offered his assistance, but the group wanted to handle things quietly. They left their dear friend Jed, the prospector, holed up in the doctor's office, recovering from a very bad bullet wound that he took at the mines. And they packed up the supplies that Delilah had purchased with her newfound fortune, collected their horses, and went in search of these ape men in the hills, as they had heard rumors that the ape men didn't like the strange flying bug creatures, and they were hoping to find perhaps some kind of allies in dealing with this problem. And they rode out, headed into the hills, and did in fact locate the Sasquatch. First discovering a small youngling in the Sasquatch family, and then having Jeremiah abducted by a much larger Sasquatch who carried him up into the hills. When our whole group came back together, minus one Lucas, who had gone back for the horses, they came to some small understanding between them and the Sasquatches, and the Sasquatches seemed to deliver them a message. Apparently, the bug people have some plans, possibly, for the town of Pawheton. and they aren't good. So, as we come back in, Lucas, you went to collect the horses and came back to the clearing where you had last seen your friends. And as you get back there and look around, most of them are nowhere to be seen. They seem to have run off, maybe after Jeremiah.
That's just like them. We'll go get the horses, Lucas. And then they come back and they're gone. Can I discern direction from tracks or anything? Can I be like the cool tracker?
You can, if you want to roll me either a track or some kind of survival check to see if you can figure out where they went.
Now, the excitement on being the cool tracker by no means indicates that I put points in this at all. So
Which is
just
fair.
Putting it out there. All right, so track.
Yes. All right, so you give a quick look around, and you see a muddle of footprints and things like that, but you're not exactly sure which direction they might have headed off in.
So just in case anyone's looking, I'm gonna grab a piece of the dirt and taste it, and do that cool thing, and then I'm gonna pick a direction and go.
All right,
So
why don't you roll me a luck roll?
Okay.
Luck is...
It should be up in the top of the sheet on the left. You should be able to roll luck. Under your hit points, yes. Excellent. So you pick a random direction, and with the horses in tow, you start heading in the way you think the group may have gone. And you go for a while, and you're having to maneuver the horses up, and they seem a little bit uneasy. Why don't you just give me a quick animal handle? Or, let's see, nature check.
Ride?
You can do a ride too, yeah, to kind of guide them along. So you're struggling quite a bit with them, and so it's taking a lot of time, and you kind of are meandering a little bit to kind of bring them through the tree line and things like that, and you probably do this for the better part of maybe 45 minutes, just no sign of the rest of your group. Until you kind of crest up this one hill, and you hear from this sort of mouth of this opening off to one side, this kind of splash of water. And then it sounds like some fists pounding on the ground coming from inside this opening. And it's big enough that a full-size person could kind of go in and out of this cave.
How far away am I when I hear this?
You're maybe about 30 or so feet from the opening, because it catches your attention, and you can kind of turn and look off to your right.
So as soon as I hear it, I'm drawing a pistol, and I'm just going to yell in, "Hey, Hudson!"
So inside the cave, Hudson, you are on the ground with the big Sasquatch still sitting on top of you. Each of you, in turn, patting each other's faces. And it kind of mashes your face a little and rubs its hand on your face. Your hair is all kind of now covered in dirt and kind of sticking up kind of in a funny way. And Jeremiah and Delilah are kind of sitting near the opening. The little Sasquatch sitting between you, chewing on the marshmallow he just stole. That was supposed to go to the bigger one. And as you hear Lucas's voice come through the opening, "Hudson!" And the Sasquatch on Hudson leaps off and crawls up above the opening, teeth bared, and the other one goes down in a crouch, looking threatened. But Hudson, you are now it's now off the top of you. The little Sasquatch grabs a handful of marshmallows and skitters off into the darkness.
Hudson's gonna kind of stand up slowly, with his hands up in the air, and just yell back out, "We're okay. Just stay out there for now. It's a delicate situation."
Sasquatch are friends, not food.
bring scotch and food?
No, I said the Sasquatch are our friends now, not enemies.
What's the secret word, Delilah?
That's a good question. I think I'm gonna roll luck to see if she pulls
Yes,
a word out of her.
please.
Out of her.
Yeah, you have no idea what the secret word is.
I think she says, I think she's gonna go with like something completely off the wall, like pumpernickel.
All right, you're fine. I'll just be out here then, and I'm gonna start finding a place to hitch the horses.
All right, and it's pretty easy.
Don't
There's
have
enough
one.
trees and stuff here that you can kind of go over and tie the horses off pretty quickly. And you noticed that as you're yelling back and forth and you go to tie 'em, they seem a little more agitated than they were coming up the slope. And their kind of hackles are up a little. They're kind of like looking toward the cave opening and like getting a little nervous.
Lucas is our friend. She'll punch. Is the picture of the bug man still like out? Or the book?
Yeah, the book. Jeremiah still has the book. Like it maybe like fell a little bit when they leaped up. Like he dropped it because the little one grabbed the marshmallows.
She'll pick up the book and she'll point to the bug man and say, "Lucas," and point out the hall or out the cave. Apparently gonna knock over my mic while I'm at it.
Mm-hmm.
Will help fight the bug people. And she'll punch the picture, kind of imitating what Jeremiah did.
All right, so it watches you punch the picture, and the one on the ceiling stays kind of holding onto the ceiling, but the other one kind of takes a less confrontational kind of positioning and stance, and then kind of like pulls at Delilah and then points at the opening.
Do you want me to go out there and bring our friend in?
It kind of like points again, and then it backs away from the doorway.
You want him to stay out there? We already told him to stay out there.
It pushes you toward the door again.
I will walk out the door.
I think it wants you to leave, Delilah.
Oh, what? Okay. Can Hudson come with me?
Don't bring me into this. He's sitting up. He's not standing. He's still like sitting there with his hands up, just like don't do anything.
Yeah, I will walk out the door.
All right, so Lucas, you see Delilah just come out from this opening. You're on mute.
You're still muted.
So yeah, as soon as I see that she's okay, I'm gonna pistol's going back in the holster. And oh well, thanks for just leaving me back there with all these animals here. These beasts of burden doing whatever they feel like.
I'm sorry. Jeremiah's life was a little more important than the horses and you. I mean, that didn't come out right.
I'll see how
I
it
mean,
is.
you could have you could have ran and kept up, but I thought you would lag behind, so I just sent you to get the horses.
Little legs, darling, little legs. They're quick, but they don't get me far very quickly. Like
You see my legs? The only reason I can run fast and far is because I wear high heels. It helps tone the legs. Or I feel like it does. Maybe you should try it.
We'll see. We'll see how many wild nights we got left in Pawheton. Where's everyone else?
Jeremiah and Hudson are in the Did you know his name was Jeremiah and not Jerry this whole time? Speaking of which.
Oh yeah. I had his initials put on his gun holster.
Well, Jerry starts with a J too.
Oh, I guess. Oh, well, yeah, I guess.
Anyway, they're safe inside. I think we've made allies of the Sasquatch, the ape men. I'm not exactly sure how this happened. I think it was lots of tiny marshmallows. Definitely helped.
Well, I don't know how comfortable I am with. I think we made allies with them. I mean, that's not the type of creature you want to maybe be friends with and find out we were wrong. What makes you think that we're allies with them now?
Well, they told us the bug people's plans.
Okay.
I suppose I should enlighten you after the train passes.
So we have Bigfoots now.
Correct.
Where are they? How long is that train?
It wouldn't be so bad if it wasn't right outside my window. I know we're standing in the mouth of a cave, but...
It's a ghost train back again. It's a train that will one day pass through this territory.
Okay, good. The train's gone now. I suppose I should enlighten you as to what the bug people's plans are now that the ghost train has passed. According to the Sasquatch, they think the Sasquatch, the Sasquatch think the bug people are going to destroy the dam, thus flooding all of Pawheton.
What do they have to gain from that?
More territory? I don't know. Dead bodies to eat? I don't know. We just got this information just before you strolled up and scared all the Sasquatches.
The Bigfoots are afraid of me. The Bigfoots are afraid of me.
They're gentle creatures once you get to know them.
Well, all right then. Well, let's go get to. I want to meet a Bigfoot.
Okay. Now put your guns away. Keep them away, or this is going to end badly for all of us.
Like put them away. Like take them off.
Does Hudson have all his weapons on him?
Yes.
Yeah, he's like
yes, he does.
fully armed.
And I saw them sit on him, and I know that there's a Sasquatch on the ceiling. So I'm going to say you should probably put them away, lest you get set on by a Bigfoot. I mean, if that's what you're into, I don't judge.
So I'll go ahead and take the belts off, but I'm going to take one of the revolvers and kind of waistband it, in the back, so that it's not just blatantly in. But yeah, I'm going to go meet a bunch of Bigfoots without something in case it goes bad. So, but yeah, I see where you're going with this. So I'm going to hang the gun belts on Boss's pommel and waistband one of my revolvers.
Okay.
And I think Delilah turns around and slowly walks him first in front of him. I'm bringing him in. He wants to meet you.
All right. So while you're inside Hudson and waiting, you notice the Sasquatch that pushed Delilah forward sort of backs away into the shadows and almost melds into the shadows and disappears from sight. So you're just sort of left sitting there looking across at Jeremiah with his bag of marshmallows and his book, looking at each other waiting.
Is the big one still on the ceiling?
He is tucked in on the ceiling over the door.
How far away is Jeremiah from me?
Maybe 10 feet.
I was gonna try and reach and grab a marshmallow, but he's too far away.
You're not
He's just
allowed.
gonna hands up and then just he'll kind of slowly scoot towards Jeremiah, reach out,
All right, they don't stop you.
grab a marshmallow, just
Make just a straight dexterity roll.
Get that marshmallow. Get that marshmallow.
no little
Part of
sass
the bonus
gonna try and
features, I
take-
just want to just say that I'm picturing that scene from Monty Python and the Holy Grail, where the son's sneaking over to get the note. Like the guards are just like,
So So
So good job.
Hudson scoots, and gets just within range for his long arms to reach in. He scoops out a marshmallow,
And a little Sasquatch.
and there's just a little, and the marshmallow's gone in the shadow behind you.
I'm going for another one.
He's so busy eating the first one, you managed to get the next one without him noticing as he's chomping on the first one.
And I just kind of laugh a little. Eat it.
So, you hear the voices of Delilah and Lucas, and then you hear the footfalls of them approaching and coming back inside.
Hudson's just gonna, because he's just trying to stay as non-threatening as possible, be like, calling out towards where he knows the one disappeared in the shadow. It's just our friends coming back. The little one you pushed, and she's bringing another one back. Don't do anything weird.
So
as soon as I can see Hudson, I'm gonna wave at him with both hands too, like, hey.
Hudson's just gonna point up.
Oh, he doesn't.
Oh, never mind.
Celts,
Just like,
have Lucas roll just a spot hidden for me.
This is just too much fun. I don't think Delilah would have let him know about the Sasquatch on
Yep.
the ceiling.
So,
Always sees him.
Hudson points up, and you were like waving. You point up, and you do like your eyes. You flick them to the ceiling, and you see this shape on the ceiling above you, and then it's like falling towards you.
Can I push Lucas out of the way?
Sure. You can make me a I'll say roll me a dodge, or a dexterity, whichever one is better.
That would be straight dexterity.
All right, so Lucas, this shape is like falling from the ceiling, and then you get shoved.
Just as I'm getting shoved, I'm like reaching to tip the brow of my hat. Like, my plan was to be nice to him, and then he's just gonna be shoved to the ground.
Yep.
Like,
So you go down in the heap, and Delilah, you get knocked to the ground. And the Sasquatch is like looking down at you and looks over at Lucas and looks back down at you.
Hi, buddy. Oh, she probably can't wave because it's sitting on top of her.
Mm-hmm.
He's our friend.
It's going to crawl off and like lumber over to where Lucas is kind of now in the corner. And kind of get right down and put its face in Lucas's face.
I'm gonna kind of like do the like butt shuffle, like kicking my feet and my hands, like go as far back until I can feel a cave at my back.
Lucas.
Yeah.
It landed on me, and then it started blowing in my face, and I blew in its face back, and it was cool.
And you notice now, you get a better look at Hudson as your eyes are adjusting, and Hudson's hair is all caked with dirt. His face is like all messy, dirty. There's like gravel kind of stuck on the side of his face, and his clothes are all dirty.
Just letting you know what's about to happen.
Yeah, it looks like it's real cool. Blow on him?
Well, it was more like a in his face.
So as soon as he does that, I'm gonna do that to the Sasquatch. It's okay. It's okay, buddy. Like that? No wonder you're all... You did that?
It leans in real close, and it's looking in your face as you're doing that. And its big lip comes out. Roll me a persuasion check.
It worked for me. Oh, use that luck. Use that luck.
You still have the most out of any of us.
Since we just discussed this pre-stream, so yeah, I'm gonna use a luck point.
All right, so
I would just need one, or do
yeah,
I
you just
more?
need to spend one luck point to make it a success.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes. So it like leans in real close, and its brow is real furrowed, and it gets so uncomfortably close, like its like nose is almost touching yours, and its breath smells kind of like a little dirty and like it could use a breath mint. And then it goes and just like douses you in spittle, and then rubs a big palm on top of your head, and then it bears like this toothy grin, and then just kind of lumbers away and sits on its haunches in the corner.
How'd you guys get up to all this? And it's only been what, like an hour or 2 hours?
Probably not
you
even.
Have secret relations with Sasquatches, Bigfoots?
Jeremiah shrugs and just holds up a half-empty bag of marshmallows, like,
Marshmallows are the universal language, Lucas. Everybody loves marshmallows, especially the miniature ones.
Hold on, Lucas. Watch this. Huss is gonna pull out a marshmallow and very slowly pull it back.
so
Wait for the little one to grab
yeah,
it.
so you just watch him moving it slowly, and it's almost back to like him, and like you don't think anything's gonna happen, and then right from behind him out of the shadows, this tiny little hand, furry all the way up to the paw, just comes out, and the marshmallow disappears, and you hear a
I want to try that, and I'm gonna get to my feet and like excitedly walk over to Jeremiah. Here, let me have some of them. And I'm gonna take like, I don't know, like 2 in each hand.
as you go, let me have some of them. You reach into the bag. There's a flurry of motion from behind Hudson, and this little ball of fur like leaps out of the shadow, and is like coming right towards you. Do you try to get out of the way?
Is the big one?
It's smaller, but it just furry all over, and you can just see, like, as it comes out into the light, like, you just get the shot of, like, its teeth, and the paws, like, outstretched in front of it.
Come here, little buddy.
It is gonna hit you in the chest. I want you to roll me a power roll as it slams into you. Let's see if you can stay standing as it hits you. That's pretty good. Yeah, so it slams right into you, and like it kind of ends up holding onto you as you just backpedal a little but keep your feet. And it's
okay.
It's turning around, going for the marshmallows in your hand.
Oh yeah, I'm giving him marshmallows, like all of them at once.
Yeah, you notice his teeth are completely full of sticky goo.
This guy's cool, you guys. What did you name him?
Little Sass.
It's Little Sass.
Little Sass.
Short for Little Sasquatch, but that's kind of a mouthful.
Also, I'm a little concerned that Mama hasn't shown up yet. She's lurking in the shadow.
Who was that? What was that raspberry one all about then? Where did she come from? Is that its mama?
No, I think that was the dad.
Yep, there's that one still sitting by the door, just chilling, watching this.
I think that's the dad. Mom's hiding in the shadows. He's gonna kind of like tilt with his head where he saw it disappear into.
I'm gonna ruffle the hair, like not menacingly, but just like, oh, and I'm gonna grab another couple marshmallows and walk over to you said there's one sitting by the cave entrance?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna walk over and just kind of hand marshmallows to the cave entrance, Bigfoot's.
It sort of takes the marshmallows, and the little one like crawls after you, and he's like reaching around trying to take the marshmallows from the bigger one, and the bigger one like lifts its big paw up in the air and puts a meaty paw on top of the little one's head, like little one's like
That's all I got, y'all. You said they were talking to you?
Oh, we communicated.
Talking's a loose term.
Yeah.
There's a lot of drawn pictures and punching a book.
And ripping
Jeremiah
pages.
holds up the book.
Apparently, the preacher has hobbies we didn't realize, or Padre had hobbies we didn't realize he had. Not that I'm judging.
Well, let's see if they can show us the rest of them. There's got to be more of them, or is there just these two?
Well, there's more. Because there's 3 in here.
3?
And then, oh yeah, Mama's in here somewhere. She's back there.
Not creepy.
We walked past her.
Well, yeah, let's get everyone together. Let's see what we're working with here. I mean, there's more of them.
There might be.
I think Delilah is gonna go up to Daddy Sasquatch, and be like, "Are more of you?" And point and be like, "More."
It looks where you point, and it looks back, and it puts a finger in your chest.
We need to help you. Communication is difficult with these things, Lucas. I think we should only count on the two of them, and even then, I don't think we should count on them at all.
I'm gonna try something. Can I find a stick or something I can use to draw in the dirt?
Yeah, there's actually like a stick lying on the ground, kind of covered in dirt and water.
So I'm gonna kind of like erase the Etch-a-Sketch, and I'm gonna draw a really terrible, hurt, furry little stick person, and then I'm gonna point at it with the stick, and then reach out and pat the little Sasquatch on the head. And I'm gonna draw a little bit bigger, horrible, furry stick person, and point at it, and I'm not gonna touch the big Sasquatch, but I'm gonna like hold my hand out, palm up to him, like you, and then kind of gesture like more.
So it looks down at your sketch as you point, and it like taps the bigger one, and then it taps itself. Points at the little one and points at the little Sasquatch, who's like now sitting on his haunches and kind of holding his little belly. I'm licking his lips a little.
Throw up, isn't he?
Licking his lips a little, like. And then it takes the stick and it like draws, not as, you know, like, oh, probably as good as your figures, and it draws just a couple more, and it like points at them, and it points further into the darkness.
Oh god, there's more of them.
How have you all seen how they react with fire? Have you shown them a lantern or anything?
Oh, not a good idea. They reacted violently to my crude drawing of a bug person. I'm not showing them fire. Bad idea.
I'm gonna go like this, like, and then try to draw a campfire in the dirt and see if he recognizes that.
How many more Sasquatch did he draw?
He drew like 4 more big ones.
Okay. So we're looking at 5 big ones and a little one.
No. It would be the 2 that we already have plus 4 more. It would be 6.
Oh, I thought
Plus-
Lucas only drew one of them. Sorry. That was my bad.
Oh, maybe, I don't know.
At least 5.
Yes.
Okay.
There's at least 5 or 6. So, do they react to the fire?
It sort of just looks at it, like cocking its head back and forth, like.
They don't know what fire is. I don't think it's our time to give the cavemen fire.
I disagree. I think we should show them fire, and we can use the fire to look for the rest of this cave for the rest of the Bigfoots. What do you think?
The wolves in the forest agree with me. This is a horrible idea. I mean, you do whatever you want. If you die, that's on you. If you kill me, I haunt you.
All right, then. I'm gonna go back out to boss, and I'm assuming between like even if I have to rip my shirt or something, I can make some kind of a torch.
Okay. And you.
Not like I don't want a big adventuring torch.
I think Delilah, when she procured goods, probably procured lanterns for everyone.
She did get camping gear and whatnot.
Like, she went all out because she is rich.
Rub it in.
Or,
So then, yeah, I'll grab a lantern and light it.
All right, you can see the bigger one watching you from the cave entrance.
And all the while just kind of making gestures like it's okay. I'm gonna light the lantern and start walking back towards the cave entrance.
Just roll me another persuasion check. You can have an advantage die since you seem to have gotten a little rapport with this creature. You use the green button.
no, it's the black
Oh,
one.
the black. Sorry, the black. All right. So when you get the lantern and bring it in, the big one kind of moves the little one behind it and backs up a little bit. It looks like it's unsure of this device that you're bringing into the cave.
It's okay. Jerry, throw me a marshmallow.
Jeremiah's like, I'm almost out of marshmallows. Here, and he throws another marshmallow.
I'll take the marshmallow on my drawing stick and I'm gonna hold it kind of over the fire in the lantern and roast it. And then I'm gonna blow on it so it's not all burning hot, evil burning marshmallow. And then I'm gonna offer it to the little one.
It takes it a little more slowly, as it's been. It looks like it might be getting a little bit of a tummy ache, but it takes it, and it's like squishes it almost immediately because it's used to the squishy, and it just starts to get the goo all over its hands.
Oh no.
And it's just kind of getting matted in its fur a little bit too.
Well, this is where we die.
You defamed the sacred marshmallow.
I mean, it's looking at itself, but it's getting kind of sticky.
Who doesn't like one of them roasted marshmallows? He likes it. Watch.
And the bigger one is like sticking its finger in the roasted marshmallow that the little one's got, and it's kind of like got marshmallow stuck to it too, and it's like. So they
don't
seem
know
a
how you're
little.
supposed to eat it.
They seem a little involved with now. They're kind of covered in sticky marshmallow goop. But
Make
it
a
has
break for it.
it
One
has
side
distracted
effect that
them
I
from
was
the
not
lantern.
counting on when I did this was now they're preoccupied, and I'm going to pick up the lantern and kind of start walking around the cave, see what we can see.
All right, so you guys watch as Lucas walks further in, and you see as the light spreads more toward the back of the cave, there is actually another like opening that disappears further in, and you don't see the other big Sasquatch in the room when the light kind of opens up the shadowy areas.
That's not good.
Can we track them or attempt to?
You can make a track check.
I'm gonna roll a track check and hope I get lucky.
Yay.
No, and it's not worth 12 luck to me.
So you're not sure if it went that way. You don't see tracks in the dirt, but you have seen these creatures climb up onto the walls and maneuver. So
Hey, maybe not. Hey, Lucas, you want to point the lantern up so that we can look up just in case there's another Sasquatch that about to fall from the sky on us, or the ceiling on us?
Is it going to even do anything with me? 'Cause I'm not the tallest in the group.
yeah, it's the cave that you're in isn't so tall. Like it illuminates the ceiling area, and this, as far as you can tell, this Sasquatch is nowhere in this room. And the only two ways that you can see to come or go are the tunnel out and this tunnel that disappears further on the way.
I think we should go in.
Well, I want to see more Bigfoot, so
I mean, I think we should cautiously go in. Very, very cautiously.
are
Jerry
you
can say
volunteering to go first?
Yeah, Jeremiah is trying to help the bigger Sasquatch like get the sticky marshmallow.
Yeah,
It's like, I'll keep him
we're
busy.
gonna leave Padre here.
I'll try to keep him. I'll keep him busy.
What do you think, y'all?
I mean, we gotta get more allies. Might as well.
All right, I'll head in.
All right, so you head into this tunnel, which is it's maybe about a little under 6 feet tall. So Hudson might have to stoop a little bit to walk in here. Delilah and Lucas, you're pretty good, like walking through.
I gotta stoop a lot. I'm 6'4".
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna be like,
You kind of do the squat walk, and you think, the Sasquatch that was down here probably had to go on all fours to kind of go through here pretty quickly. But you proceed further in with your lantern, and this little tunnel kind of meanders for maybe 50, 60 feet, kind of rounds deeper in, and it kind of goes a little bit downward, and it starts to open up and get a little taller, so Hudson can kind of stand up a little taller as it widens out into a bigger... There's like a bigger cave that you kind of come into.
I think Delilah starts to get real tense because she's having flashbacks. Oh no, she doesn't remember any of that. Never mind. She continues on.
Anxiety for no reason. It'd be a subconscious trigger.
She may have a little bit, like, it reminds her of something, but she
It's
just
a repressed
can't put her
memory.
finger on this. It's so, like...
But she kind of also wants to go, how do we know there aren't more walking dead down here? This was something I hadn't considered before we considered walking down here.
well, I feel like the Sasquatch would have did something about the Walking Dead.
Well, now here's something to think about. What about Walking Dead's foot?
Bigfoot.
Walking
Well-
Dead.
Oh, if that's a thing that exists, we're up shit creek without a paddle.
Listen, if they're a Walking Dead Sasquatch, I'm sorry, I'm tripping both of you and running like hell.
Not unless I run like hell first.
So you all come into this bigger open area, and the lantern sort of illuminates about 20 or so feet out in a, brighter light, and then it starts to dim as you go further on. But this looks like a much bigger sort of cave. And there's a lot more like little pockets, and there's some bigger like boulders here as you kind of are looking around, and the wind kind of blows through from one of the other tunnels across the way, and you can hear somewhere down here the sound of running water, like there might be an underground water source somewhere nearby. Why don't all of you roll me spot hidden checks?
Certainly can. I jacked up my sheet though, so I don't remember what the values of all of my skills were because I'm an idiot.
I'm gonna spend a luck and make that an extreme success.
Ooh.
Just because.
What happened to Delilah's sheet?
Hey!
I was stupid and I clicked on things and messed things up. It's fine.
Oh.
I'll figure it out.
Nice. All right, so Lucas like lifts up the lantern, and as he does, where it's usually a little bit shuttered, like he kind of like gets the light right in his face here, and he's sort of adjusting it as Hudson and Delilah, you see moving in the shadows. You see 1, then 2, then 4, 5, 8, 10 various size, bigger, shadowy figures sort of like lurking at the edge of the light.
Dad lied to us about how many there were.
Dad
What?
probably didn't understand numbers.
Well, Delilah, do the call again.
You know, do I even want to fix this so I can see what's going on, or should I just stay blinded?
Do you want to see the 10?
No. Can she attempt to do the call again? I don't even remember what we rolled the first
You
time.
did a performance check.
So art?
Yeah.
I don't think she has imitating Sasquatch skills, so we'll just...
Oh
Yeah,
no.
So
No.
so you attempt to make this call, and it sounds more like a horse, like in the death row, than the Sasquatch call that you did earlier today. And you hear low growls echo from the shadows.
Oh shit. We're in
Delilah,
trouble.
you okay? What's wrong?
Brands.
Oh, there's more of them, aren't there?
There's like 10.
There's a lot more of them.
And as you say there's like 10, Hudson, you feel a warm breath on the back of your neck.
I think there's 11. I'm not even turning around to look. Just standing there
I
still.
think this is where we run.
I don't think that's very
No,
smart.
hold on. Yeah, no, I don't. We're in their house, and we had a hard time getting here on our own, like without anything chasing us. Like, evening. And I'll hold the lantern up and just kind of smile at all of them.
So as you hold it up higher, you see it sort of reflects off of 10 sets of eyes in the shadows. And then you also note amongst those eyes, like lower to the ground, there's smaller figures. And you count a half dozen or so littler, varying size, smaller figures
More
looking
little
out.
sasses. That was Delilah's attempt at being a Sasquatch.
So, Hudson, you know that there is one directly behind you that creeped up and is between you and the tunnel back. And then there are these 10 other figures with these smaller baby Sasquatches lurking in the shadows at the edge of the light.
And nobody grabbed marshmallows from Jerry, did we?
We did not.
What about some beef jerky? I'm gonna stick the lantern down and then get into like my little "it's not a fanny pack" and get some salted meat, like some beef jerky, and start breaking little pieces of it off and tossing it towards the eyes.
So the beef jerky kind of goes out into the darkness, and you hear it just sort of scatter on the floor as you do this. And the figures sort of back away, like further into the shadows as you're throwing it. Like they seem startled by this.
Well, that's the only idea I had, y'all. What do you think you guys want to do here? I think if they wanted to hurt us, we'd be hurt already.
I only got one idea, and it's probably not going to go well.
Do we try to talk to them again?
Why don't you try talking first? See how that gets us before I try my idea.
Well, wait, what was your idea?
Trying to make friends with them in the way they understand to make friends.
So you're gonna
That's
blow
a good idea.
blow on them and rub their faces?
Well, I'm not going to rub their faces first. I'm just going to make the noise. Just going to do the thing first.
I'm on board with that. But you go first because it was your idea.
All right.
Fucking insane. This whole thing can't be real life.
It's Cthulhu.
Like,
This is the least weird thing to happen in this game, to be honest.
oh, I understand, but like, this is Delilah's inner monologue. Like,
Oh.
I think she's saying this out loud and like rubbing her temples and going, what have I gotten myself into? Like, what the hell?
So Hudson has his hands up to be non-threatening, but also he's kind of like close enough that if something goes wrong, he can grab a gun.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just gonna...
See?
Roll me a persuasion check.
Can I do charm? Because you let me do that last time.
Yeah, I will let you do charm.
Okay, because my charm is better. By a lot. How much luck is that? 16 luck.
Not worth it. We can.
Well, it could be worth it. We don't know what's going to happen.
Can I help him?
What do you do to help him, Lucas?
I'm gonna set the lantern down so that
Mhm.
they're not thinking I'm gonna try to use it as a weapon against them. And then just
All right, I will let you roll again, Jamie. This will be your advantage roll.
Okay. We'll see how this goes. Oh.
Oh,
All right, so so you make the raspberry sound, and there is a low growl from like almost directly opposite you, and you see this hulking form like start to sort of take a couple lumbering steps into the light, and this one is like the biggest one you've seen. This isn't the one you saw before.
Oh, God. Oh,
and
God.
then Lucas is standing there, and as it lumbers out into the light and he puts it down, he also makes the sound, and from right behind you, like in your ear, Hudson, you get a responding and a big meaty paw comes down on your head and rubs you on the head.
I'm just going to very slowly reach back and just kind of pat on the face like it's doing to me. Just try to like replicate it.
And it just turns your face toward you, and you realize it's the other one that disappeared from the front cave.
Oh, it's Mama. Yeah, I'm just gonna do exactly what she's doing to me.
And the big one that lumbered out of the shadows, it just takes like 3 bounding steps, and it lands directly in front of the 3 of you. The lantern kind of almost tips over, and it sort of just puts its face right in Hudson's face and breathes deeply onto your face. And then it looks at Delilah, and it looks at Lucas.
do the thing. Do the thing too. You got to do the thing too.
all are not. I am not a horse. I do not make horse noises.
And I'm
You
still
don't
just
want
petting. I'm still just petting the mom like it's petting me.
You
That's
don't want these
last
Bigfoots
time.
thinking you're a party pooper. Do it.
I'm a party pooper.
And it's just staring in your face as you do it.
Can Delilah start to dance instead?
Sure, you start to dance.
Yes, I start to dance.
Do you want to roll a performance for dancing, or are you just in general dancing to draw
No,
their
sh-
attention?
She's gonna actually dance. Or not, because that was strange. Why is that giving me an error now?
I don't know.
I jacked up my sheet so bad. Are any of these gonna work?
Oh, that worked. All right, yeah. So you're gonna start dancing. So what are you doing as you start dancing?
I think she starts doing the can. That
Okay.
seems like an
Just don't
appropriate
kick too far. Don't kick them.
dance for her to do.
All right. So as Hudson has this very large, maybe like 7.5 foot tall and like super wide, like gorilla looking Sasquatch person like leaning into his face and breathing down on him, and the other one is still behind him and is kind of like in low growls like Delilah starts dancing behind. Lucas is on the other side, like, so Lucas, you just try to see Delilah start dancing, and it kind of draws the attention of the other shadows, and some of the smaller shadows start to sort of move around, looking at Delilah, and then like they kind of sit back and just sort of watch her dancing with like confused expressions on their face. One of the little ones sits back and puts a leg in the air while it's lying on its back, puts another leg in the air, like, confused.
Hudson,
What?
she's smarter than we are.
Yeah,
She's
no
a lot-
shit. I
She's
knew
a
that.
lot smarter than we are.
Well, do you want me to do a can-can? It ain't gonna be as pretty.
I think you better just stick with what's working. Mhm.
They're the world's worst backup dancers.
So after a few moments, and the occasional, like, you see the big one side glance to where Delilah is, it will eventually, like, turn on its haunches and, like, stroll back and kind of sit back looking at you both and then looking at Delilah.
You know what we should have grabbed? Jerry's book.
Oh.
Houston, we have an issue. So Delilah's gonna do her chicken scratch flying ant drawing again. And then she's gonna punch the drawing.
So it watches you as you stop dancing and you go to draw. It looks more confused. And it looks at you punching the drawing on the ground and kind of barks at the one that's standing behind Hudson, sort of looking over his shoulder. And the other, they kind of, like, you can tell that seems like they're talking to each other and these, like, guttural barks back and forth. And the big one gets this, like, dark expression on his face, and it and it, like, storms back halfway across the cavern and slams a fist on some rocks, and it breaks them with, like, one hit.
Crap.
Like, seems disturbed by whatever the other one barked at it.
Delilah, what did you do?
You drew the book person.
Draw the X over it.
I punched it. Can she try to, like, stab at it with the stick in, like, I'm fighting it kind of way?
Yeah, you guys can make me an intelligence roll too if you want to.
Yes, please.
All of us?
Yes.
Boom.
Boom.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Hudson also understands these guttural things because he's basically a giant ape person. He's a dumb jock. He understands.
All right, so all of you easily get the impression that the Sasquatch that dealt with you all in the previous room has explained whatever you are to this bigger creature, and you get the impression that it's very disturbed by maybe not your presence, but by the information you've brought here about this content, these creatures, like, and
So-
it looks, you're getting the impression that its haunches are like you definitely can tell, like, it seems threatened, not by you, but by these
So
things.
am I getting the impression that it doesn't know what one of those things are? Like
No, it definitely
No.
knows what they are, and it definitely like its anger seems more of that it's extremely threatened by these things.
we want to fight them, and she'll exit out and keep them from coming back.
And the other one kind of, like, barks again at the big one, and it and you see it gesture toward the little ones. And you guys can all roll me a spot hidden check as it kind of turns and gestures at them.
Did it roll?
I haven't seen it yet. Oh, there it goes.
Oh, there it goes.
All right, so both Delilah and Hudson, you notice when it turns its back a little bit toward you, you can see its fur has grown in, but you can see scars on its back. It looks like it had taken some serious injuries at some point previously. This really big Sasquatch, but they're like older injuries.
So these bug people have been around for a while, is what I can... Or
You-
can I not...
You might get that
we
impression.
know that they held the Sasquatch and a bunch of them escaped. So this may be
Oh,
one of the early ones to escape.
I forgot about that information. I feel like
Yeah.
we've been playing this for months, even though we've had like 8 sessions.
Yeah. Hudson's gonna kind of look at the other two. I get the feeling they don't want to be involved.
I wish that we could bring them down to protect the dam, which would probably dam them. No pun intended. I could maybe rally Jack around not killing them. Maybe. But I don't think I can... I'm not like the mayor of town. Or even the sheriff. I don't know how much actual power and ability I have on that one.
I don't know. I don't know if they're... I don't know, it just feels like the big one doesn't want to get involved because of the little ones.
I mean, that's fair. I don't really want anything to happen to the little ones either.
I'm gonna pick up the lantern
Mm-hmm.
and get the attention of the grumpy one, and walk over to Delilah's drawing and show him the lantern. And then, can I spill the lantern fluid onto the drawing at least some point to get it? Not, I don't want it to like explode or anything, but just to illustrate that we want to destroy these things.
Yeah, so you spill some lantern oil out on top of the picture that is kind of like a little bit rubbed a little bit out from the pounding of Delilah's fists.
And then I'm just gonna stand there and point to it on fire, make sure that the grumpy Sasquatch sees me, and then stomp it out.
Ooh, I like that. That was a good one.
It watches you do this, and it kind of motions back at the rest of them in there, and it kind of turns so you can see its back now. So now you can see the runes, and it motions at the burning image, and it motions at the wounds again.
Can Delilah point at it and start to growl at it?
Yeah, you see, you all get the impression like it's understanding now.
Oh.
Like you want to burn it, or you want to kill them or hurt them, and it's showing you like
the damage it's taken.
the damage like that it has.
Believe me, we've seen a man be carried off by one of these things. We know.
So Lucas stomps out the burning drawing that was drawn in the dirt, and this creature is just sort of sitting back. He doesn't seem like threatening, though you can definitely tell he's agitated, but it's not a threat that you feel is like a threat in any of your directions at this moment.
Then, almost to kind of back up my gesture with the fire, I'm going to approach the little ones and get down on a knee and kind of like act, like gesture, like to protect them, keep them safe. Like, that's what we want too.
And it kind of just looks at you and just like grunts this grunt. You kind of get the impression that it understands what you're doing. You definitely feel like these bigger ones especially are intelligent. You think that the biggest thing here is conflicting is that you don't have a common language, but you think that they're getting what you're inferring from this.
Do we get the impression that they've picked up that we want them to help us yet? Or are they just saying that we want to fight them?
You get the impression that they know that you want to get rid of these creatures.
Okay.
You don't know that you've made the point that you want help doing it.
So I think Delilah's gonna draw some, 3 regular stick figures. Then her weird drawing of the flying ant things, and then some hairy people, all like fighting against the bug.
It kind of watches you draw over your shoulder, and then it kind of goes around to the other side of it as you're drawing it, and it kind of points at the bigger, like, hairier stick figure, and then kind of pats itself on the chest and looks at you.
And Delilah will nod.
And then it's tapping the smaller figure and looks at you with a question.
She nods again, like she'll point to herself.
And it puts a big meaty finger in your chest. It's like, oh.
God, why do they keep doing that? It's still sore.
You gotta do the raspberries. Do the raspberries. That means something to them.
It means friend.
And then it like points at the bug, and it like looks around down here, and it kind of points in a direction, and you're in a cave, so you don't, but it like points away. It taps it again, and it points away.
Right, they're outside. We know.
And it'll tap it again, and then it'll tap the big creature, and then it taps the little ones, and then it like points away again, like out, like.
Are you coming with us?
And kind of looks at it and.
Delilah's gonna get real angry with it.
It'll start moving like around you, and then it points to the door where you came in and kind of moves a step or two toward it.
Like it's geared up and ready to go fight it? Can Delilah do psychology against,
Sure.
to see if she can figure out? Sorry. I have to reassemble my sheet, and luckily it keeps some track of it. Psychology is 50. Here goes nothing, guys. Oh!
Ooh.
So you, like, looking at it, like, its body language, you get the impression that the big one is willing to take you and show you where the bug people, like, he points at the bugs, and he's pointing away and moving in that direction. So you infer that he is willing to guide you.
I mean, we need that.
Are we? Yes. Let's go. Let's take. I think he wants to show us where exactly the bug people are, or get us closer to having this information.
I mean, we need that. We don't know where they are, so.
Yes. Please, yes. She'll shake her head and point towards the door and be like, "Let's go."
So he turns and he just lumbers away, and he's fast. Like he takes off into that tunnel, and his big furry form like kind of just like disappears into the tunnel, and the other one that you're more familiar with like looks and barks at the three of you.
Yeah, well, if he wouldn't have taken off, we
going?
would have followed him. Anyway, let's go.
Yeah, we'll run after him. Hudson will run after him.
I mean,
right.
Yes.
So you all follow after him back through the tunnel, and like he has disappeared very quickly. Like you just see his shadowy form, and you're following him. You're about a third of the way up the tunnel when you hear Jerry's surprise scream from the other side.
Oh, we forgot about the Padre. Crap.
So when you do, like, make it to the other end of this tunnel and come back into the cave where you started, there are the remaining marshmallows scattered, and Jeremiah is just, like, lying on the floor looking back and forth, like, oh.
Jerry, we're going to find the bug people lair, or he can lead us. The one that just scared the bejesus out of you, or scared Jesus out of you.
Uh-huh. And Jeremiah's, all right. And he starts, picking up the marshmallows and putting them back in the
Just
bag.
Leave him,
there.
Jerry!
I'll buy you another bag. Let's go.
And he will get up and follow you. And you hear the horses, kind of like the panic sound of the horses outside where they were tied up.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh crap. Do we see where big guy
Jeremiah
went?
just points out the door.
Well, I mean, like,
He went that
if
way.
we run out the cave, can we see him, or is he like?
Yeah, if you come out of the cave, he is like 20 feet up the slope, like up in the branches of a big tree looking around. And the other big one that had been in the cave is also kind of below that tree, like he followed him out. And behind you comes the other one that you were familiar with, kind of lumbering along behind.
Are they? Does it look like they're waiting for us?
Yeah, they seem to have stopped.
Okay. I assume we should take the horses.
I don't think we can keep up with them on foot.
All right, let's go.
So as everyone's getting ready, I'm gonna put my belts back on.
Oh, Delilah is getting a gun out, for sure. Like, that's not even a question in my mind at this point. Like, it's... If we're going anywhere near the bug people, she wants to be armed to the T.
All right, so you prepare yourselves, and the Sasquatches wait. And then when you're ready to go, Jeremiah has come back out, gets Sancho, kind of gets mounted up and ready to go with you. And when you look like you're ready to go, the bigger one heads off first. And the other two kind of fall back behind a little ways and kind of meld into the trees. And they sort of, you catch glimpses of them. But they seem like they're kind of keeping a distance and sort of like a rear watch, like a rear guard.
Oh, we befriended the Sasquatch.
And the bigger one, as soon as you appear ready, he leaps from the tree and starts bounding down the slope and heading in sort of a northwest direction away from this hill and away from the, like, out of the tree line and down the hill back down to what you all, if you kind of like look around and get your bearings as you start to ride after them, you realize that you're heading sort of down in the direction of Muskrat Creek, the creek that Jed's claim was along.
Mm-hmm.
But looking out, you can see in the distance in that direction, you can see Humboldt Mountain. And it seems like the big Sasquatch is sort of making a direct beeline for Humboldt Mountain as it runs. As you guys follow it. And you guys do. You follow for a while as the hill behind you and the Sasquatch's caves kind of go into the distance behind you. And you go further and further down the slopes and down the hills, and the hills kind of spread out a little bit. But the mountain ahead of you kind of starts to loom a little bigger and bigger. And it's about a couple of hours travel. Every once in a while, the bigger Sasquatch will like stop and double back to make sure you're still following.
Oh.
And then occasionally stop long enough for you to take a rest before it leads you to a crossing for Muskrat Creek. You see it bound across in a spot and take the horses across. And you quickly come to the lower slopes after maybe travel for maybe 2.5 hours. And you come to the lower slopes of Humboldt Mountain.
Are we ready to do this? I mean, I brought the dynamite. Like, do we have a plan now that we're, like, I think the Sasquatches are in it to win it, and so should we.
I think for right now, we should probably just scope out the area, see weak points, places we can hide, places to put stuff. And then when shit hits the fan, because I know it's going to hit the fan, we'll blow them up.
Jeanette, question for you. How many of the bigger Sasquatches are following? I know you said some were rear guard. You've got the big, previously held by the bug people
Big Papa's leading us.
You definitely know that that there were 3 of them that you saw come with you. You don't know for sure if any more shadowed you or not.
Okay.
You do know that they're very good at hiding, so there very well could be more of them, but
Okay.
you're not 100% certain.
That might actually be to our advantage. That they only see the
Mhm.
7 of us.
Mm-hmm. Well, I say let's keep going.
Cool. I assumed like they're riding at a fairly quick pace, but I was assuming we weren't riding so fast as we couldn't communicate with each other. Or
No.
this happened when we were resting somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So as you have crossed Muskrat Creek and you've gotten kind of to the base of the mountain, the bigger Sasquatch kind of like you come around a bend and it's kind of waiting, and it kind of like motions toward your horses. It's like
On foot, I think, is what he wants us to do.
Don't have to tell me twice, Big Papa.
Is there like a good hidden spot we can put the horses?
roll me a luck check to find a good spot to hide your horses. If you guys are all working together, you can roll with
Oh yeah.
an advantage die. Oh man.
Ba-ba-ba-bow.
So
I like how I have 2 fumbles there.
yeah. So as Lucas is looking around, and it's like maybe over, Hudson's like, wait, and you find like this little gully that's kind of hidden by some low trees and some bigger rocks where you think they'll be safer, and you find a good spot to tie them off, and there's some grass for them to eat. So
Good.
you think that they're much better hidden in this area. So, the Sasquatch is waiting when you come back out, and it leans in, and it looks at you all, and it's like, and you get the impression like it needs you to be very quiet now.
Hmm?
So, if you guys want to all roll me some stealthy checks here.
I'm gonna keep my natural 20, I think. Just roll. Oh, didn't need it.
I think I'll use mine.
Oh, okay.
Do I still have one?
You do.
We all have one.
I'm gonna use mine because I'm not gonna screw this one up.
Excellent. What are you afraid of?
Bug people,
It's the end
a lot of things.
as we know it.
But mostly bug people.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, you follow behind and occasionally lose sight of the bigger Sasquatch, but every time you do, and then you start to feel like you're not sure where it might be and you almost panic, it sort of reappears briefly and then continues upward up the slope. And it is taking a sort of meandering path. And you do kind of feel like, as this is happening, like you could easily get lost. And then eventually you could sort of reach a ledge and you see it kind of crawling like on the rocks a little ways. And it looks back and it just doesn't like say anything. It just looks at you with dark, intense eyes as it looks down over and down the slope below. And then it looks back again. Like its eyes, it kind of like, and just sort of tilts its head to come closer.
Yeah, I think this is it.
So, question for you. I'm just thinking about the dynamite. Is it a 3-second or 5-second fuse? And if we tied more fuse wire, could we just literally drop dynamite on them?
Well, you're not sure. You haven't seen yet. You know, if you just lit the fuse, it would be a short. You're not sure how many seconds you'd get depending on the length of the fuse you like to throw it. You do have the wire that you could, extend it and then blast it from a distance if you wanted to. but you're not sure. You haven't yet seen like exactly what's below.
So the fuse wire is not necessarily more fuse. Okay.
As we were coming up the mountain, Hudson was going to try and keep track of the path they took.
Okay.
So that if we come here again without the Sasquatch, we can kind of try to figure out how to get there.
Do you want to roll me like you could do a track or even a natural world to sort of pick out some natural landmarks?
I'll go for track.
All right, so Hudson, you have been like paying very close attention, even when you've noticed when the Sasquatch has doubled you back and taken you up a longer trail. So you're very comfortable, like you feel like you could get back to this location, but you also feel like there is at least another way to come or go based on that. Like you feel very comfortable, like, okay, I know that landmark and that one, and kind of looking in the distance, like the river's there. So you feel very good about being able to get out of here, but get back if you needed to. And the Sasquatch is still just looking back and looks down over this like rock and looks like he's looking downward past this slope.
So Delilah goes up to him and points down. Is that where they are? She starts to kind of get angry and huffy at down there.
As you start to make noise, a big meaty furry like hand kind of just covers your lower part of your face, and it turns your head to kind of like look over the edge where it's like looking.
Sorry.
And as it does, you look down and you can see that beyond this, that it slopes down about 50-60 feet. It's not a direct like sheer drop, but there's kind of like a rocky slope, and about 100 feet past where the slope ends, it's kind of this little open gully of a valley, and there's a opening in the far rock wall. It looks like a mine, but you see sort of flying around, you see 3 of these large insect like creatures sort of moving about. They're kind of moving barrels and stuff and moving them about the entrance and moving out crates and things like that. Lucas has taken Jeremiah, and they have backtracked to sort of watch Delilah and Hudson's backs as they go with this bigger Sasquatch that seems like some type of leader type maybe. Or
I have a question.
Yeah, what's your question?
So I kind of know the general geography of everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Can I'm assuming I'm gonna have to roll. Can I try to figure out like how close we are to Jed's camp?
Yes, you can.
Since we know like
Jed's
the bug
camp.
people were coming for Jed.
Mm-hmm.
So
Jed's camp could be our forward operating base, our FOB.
So you can roll me. I would say. What's better, like track or even a straight intelligence check if it's better?
I mean, my intelligence is slightly better, so I'll go with that.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay. Does he share any of this? Never mind. We can't talk. We're forbidden.
Yeah, because I'm sure Hudson's just kind of like on the ledge, but he's kind of just like looking out in the distance, trying to like see if he can identify anything.
Yeah. So you're not exactly sure from the specific spot you are where it would be. You do know that Jed's camp is probably a couple hours further south along the river from here.
Okay.
It's definitely not in this mountain range. You know, it was sort of a little bit south of Granite Peak, which is a little southwest of here.
Gotcha.
Can Delilah specifically look for something that they might use to destroy the dam? Like if they have dynamite or some sort of equivalent?
We said they were moving barrels around, right?
Yeah, it looks like they were like picking up and lifting and moving like barrels and things like that. And there's at least 2 or 3 of them that you see kind of moving in and out of the front opening of this cave. You can make me a like a spot hidden check if you kind of want to look more, like just take in what else might be around here.
Oh, look at that.
Wow.
The exact
You need to give us more information. We got the exact same
Wow.
roll. For a second, I thought I double rolled.
I
Or
know,
it was
right?
double.
So you looking around.
What do our elf eyes see?
Yes. So you can tell you're far away, but you get an inkling in a couple of the barrels that they're moving. You see various, like, you definitely see like silver, and you see other maybe like some precious gems or something that might have been mined from deeper down. But you don't see any sign of like explosives or things like that you recognize. It looks like they don't even seem to have like tools that miners would use, and they don't have like tents or anything set up here. It just looks like the only thing they have that is more mundane are like these general like containers. You see a couple of like crates that are open, and the barrels, and maybe like 1 or 2 carts that have wheels to them, but other than that, nothing else would give you the idea it's a mining operation here.
So it's reasonable to suspect that, like, this wasn't a person's camp that they killed and took?
That is, yeah, you don't get the impression they took this from somebody.
What are they doing with all the barrels and crates? Are they just like, is there like a big stack of them, or?
There's like one section near the entrance where there's like a big collection of these things.
Are they like, so are they types where they're still kind of like flying, hovering, or are they like bipedal at this point, like walking and carrying things?
So they sort of, like you see as you're watching, 2 of them sort of had them low to the ground, but with their wings fluttering, flying with them. And then a third one kind of came out with another larger crate that it sort of flies into view as they're kind of stacking them up. And you're not sure because you can hear their wings at this distance, but you think you can hear like a couple more. Like maybe there's a few more inside the cave itself.
But they're all flying, like none of them are walking.
Currently, none of them are walking.
Okay.
This has just got really real now that we're like this close to their like headquarters.
And they still creep you out immensely, but you guys have all seen them at this
Right.
point, so you're not like...
I think after we're there for like maybe 5 minutes just watching, Hudson's gonna gesture towards Delilah that maybe we should like leave. Or at least get somewhere further away so we can talk.
Yes. Do we know what time of day it is?
So it is now, like, later. It's probably the sun's going to be setting soon. As you guys have been out for a good portion of the day, it took you a while to get up to the caves to find the Sasquatches, and then it took you a few hours to get over here and then climb into the mountains.
Is it possible to get on our horses and get back to Jed's claim?
Why don't you roll me an intelligence check, Delilah?
Nope.
Yeah, you're not sure that you would make it, say, before it got really dark. It might be dangerous to travel. You knew you could eventually get there, but it's just, you're not sure how long it would take from where you currently are at.
Well, Delilah knows she has tents and stuff, so she's gonna, like, make a motion to, like, let's go back down the mountain and get our horses and make camp.
Probably we could make camp in the same gully where we left the horses, since it's covered.
So why don't you two, as you're backing away from the sledge and trying to leave, roll me some stealthy checks.
I knew it was coming.
I know.
Fucking Christ. Oh, cool. Great, just the 2 of us are gonna get into a fucking fight. Oh, okay, cool.
Even if I spent all of my luck, I would not succeed.
And I wouldn't spend that much.
Just check the thing.
Anyway, this is not worth it yet.
So you two back away, and there's a clattering of rock behind you as the larger Sasquatch has kind of melded back away into the trees. Like, he sort of almost clambered up a vertical and disappeared over the top very quietly. And you guys, like, start to move away, and a rock dislodges and kind of tumbles away as you realize that was rather noisy.
As soon as a rock starts to make noise, Hudson just freezes.
There's a moment where the buzzing kind of gets quieter, and then a beat goes by, another beat goes by, and then you hear the buzzing sound again of the wings fluttering again, but it doesn't sound like it's gotten any closer.
Oh, you were too nice to us.
I think it was at 95. And Hudson's going to very, very carefully start to move back down the mountainside.
All right, so you guys, Hudson starts creeping away quietly.
Like, watching where he's putting his hand and putting his foot each time just to make sure he doesn't hit anything.
All right, so you creep back and away. Delilah, what are you doing?
Following.
All right, so you both creep away, and you get distance enough away where you feel you can stand up and move, and nothing comes out after you. You think that while you made some noise, that nothing noticed you, at least, that it was something important like that.
That was very close.
I think, yeah. Yep, that just happened. I think Delilah gives Hudson eye contact and just nods like, cool. Closest I've been to death.
Yeah, Hudson's just going to keep walking. Making his way carefully back to where we put the horses.
All right, so you make your way back down the slope down. You're not being guided now, but you can hear in the trees, and you occasionally see the larger Sasquatch kind of shadowing you. It's now sort of acting like the rear guard a little bit to get you back down the slope. And when you get back to the horses, you encounter Jeremiah and Lucas a little ways before the horses, and they both kind of look at you with like questioning stares, like, so what happened?
Lots of bugs.
And we almost died.
Just don't tell them that part.
If we're gonna do this together, they need to know everything.
How'd you almost die?
We kicked some rocks down the cliff. Down the hill.
Jeremiah looks back up the hill. He's like, do you think they're following you?
Nope.
We will be hearing them.
Yeah,
They're not exactly subtle.
Okay. What's the plan?
We go to the horses and regroup for the night.
I have tents for all of us, which I would have already handed out to all y'all.
Are we camping here?
Harry, say a little prayer for all of us and suck it up.
He takes and he's like says a little prayer quietly.
I mean, that wasn't actually, that was quite literal. I was telling you to pray. I think we're gonna need some higher beings, good favor right about now.
All right. So, where do we want to? Do we want to get a little ways away from here, or stay close by so we can keep an eye on them?
With the gully where we put the horses, is there enough tree cover so that if we're like camped underneath the trees, if a bug flies overhead, it's reasonable that it's not going to see us?
There's a decent amount of tree cover there. You think maybe if it wasn't specifically looking, it might not notice?
I think it's just getting so dark and late. We should just
the only other thought I had was trying to make it to Jed's, but I'm not convinced we can get there before it gets real dark. And I'd prefer to make camp well before that point.
Lucas is looking around. We'll have to keep an eye out tonight, though. Set watches, I think.
That's fair.
I kind of figured that was a given.
No campfires or anything like that this close.
I say we just go and get ourselves in bed.
Kind of wish I hadn't thrown away that jerky, but I'm sure we've got some more in the supplies Delilah brought.
We'll figure it out.
And Jeremiah's like, what jerky? He's like, I didn't have any marshmallows, all right?
Yes, I'm sorry for the loss of your bag of marshmallows, Jerry. I will get you a new one when we get back to town. And yes, Delilah, since they aren't making fires, some of the provisions that she has with her are not useful at the moment. So I think she pulls out like hardtack and like jerky, just something since they've been out all day.
Lucas kind of looks around and he's sort of just takes a bedroll out and he kind of lays it out kind of at the perimeter. And
there's a tent, dude. Like, you don't have to sleep out amongst the stars.
I'm gonna take first watch. I'm gonna keep an eye out.
Okay. Delilah goes and puts up the tent. I think it's a 4-person tent. Like, there's room for everybody in it.
All right, so you take some time, and Jeremiah will help you. He's kind of all thumbs on it, but he does his best as you guys kind of quietly try to put up your tent and carefully get everything set up for the night. And by the time you get it set up, the sun has set, and it's gotten darker. It's a starry night, but the moon's not too big, so it's a little bit harder to see as the sun goes down. And you four are sort of left kind of looking around at each other in the dark. Your Sasquatch escorts had melded off at some point and haven't come into your little camp area.
How far away are we from? How far away are we from Muskrat Creek? Like, are we a decent distance?
Where you're at right now, you are not too far off. You know that you could head back down the trail, and it would maybe take you about 10 minutes to reach the creek from where you're camped.
Hudson's gonna go to the creek because he needs to wash off. Because he's just caked in, like, dirt and gravel and Sasquatch
I don't
crap.
think Delilah lets anyone go anywhere alone. Which I know is probably awkward for her to follow him. She'll just be like, I'm only following you in case something happens. I'll be sure to turn around and I won't peek, I swear.
Sure. That's why you're following me.
Don't you think... Okay, I've met your wife before. Do you think I want to tussle with your wife?
No, I don't even want to tussle with her.
Okay, well, I'm glad we're both smart. Although I am kind of I can kick a lot of ass myself. I don't think it's a fight I really want to find out.
No, you don't. Trust me.
Well, that's because you just yield to all the women in your life, Hudson.
I'd yield to her. Have you met her?
Well, yeah, but that wasn't what I meant.
Whatever. Just don't take any peeks.
So you guys make your way down to the creek, discussing...
It's not gonna be like a thorough. It's basically just gonna be like getting just it off and very bare bones.
All right, so
rinsing.
and the water's still a bit warm from the sun of the day. It's not like super duper cold when you do this, and you're kind of like washing off a little bit. And Delilah, you're sort of keeping an eye out, waiting for Hudson to clean up for the evening.
Correct.
Why don't you roll me a spot hidden check?
Cool. I did this to myself.
I mean, that's
She's
pretty
trying
good.
to spot Hudson.
Yes, she is trying to spot Hudson.
I mean, you're not
Oh
hard.
gosh.
Oh,
And
Come on, man.
so you keep an eye out, and as Hudson's cleaning up and kind of washing up, everything seems calm and quiet. You don't see anything. You do, at one point, just catch a set of eyes in the tree line, and you're about to panic, and then you see the face of one of the Sasquatches just sort of look out from the trees and then disappear again.
Well, our Sasquatch buddies still have her back.
For now.
Literally your back, my front.
You checking out my backside?
I mean, no, my back is turned. But I can only presume you've also turned.
I don't know. Why don't you look?
You told me not to!
I know you wanna.
Let's put it this way, Hudson. I've seen most of everybody's backside. Just saying.
Haven't seen mine.
I'd like to keep it that way. Keep this relationship professional? Wait, that doesn't... She just puts her head in her hands and goes, "You're the deputy lawman."
Yes?
I guess that doesn't really mean we... Never mind. I was going to say we should keep it professional, but my profession would mean looking would be keeping it Never mind.
Hudson's just laughing.
So as you're doing this, you guys are walking back up the trail, heading back to where you've camped. Both of you just make me listen checks.
I'm not good at the listening. I'm good at hearing things. Or apparently I am good at the listening thing.
So you leave the creek bed and you're sort of bantering back and forth. And it's at this moment where you sort of just step kind of under the trees onto the path and out of like direct line of sight of the creek bed itself. And you hear at first distant like buzzing wings.
Oh shit.
And then it gets louder. And you both kind of look back toward the creek bed and you see these shadowed, like, flying forms. They're coming from further north up the creek, and they fly following the creek bed south. And they pass by where you were just kind of in the water, like, rinsing off seconds before. And they sort of continue south. And you kind of look around and you they don't seem like they came from the path up in the mountain, so they seem like they came from somewhere further north. And they continue kind of until they're sort of out of sight and disappear.
So it's kind of like they just they were going somewhere and we just happened to be...
Yeah.
In the flight path. But they also were heading south towards town, which is a little disconcerting.
Could be heading to Jed's camp. It's south.
That's true. Maybe they don't know Jed's not there because that was only a day ago or two at this point.
Come on, let's just go back. No use fretting over nothing.
That's my town. My girls are back at the saloon, and I begged Jack to keep everybody in town, and you don't
know where they're going. They might not be going to town. They could be going literally anywhere else.
I'm sorry, deputy. My head goes to the worst case scenario after the past couple of days that we've had. Can you entirely blame me?
No, I'm just saying we don't know where they're heading yet. I feel like there'd be more than 3 if they were going to go blow up the town or attack town.
I mean, you make a fair point. There's a reason I went to art school. I have an active imagination.
Well, I didn't even go to school.
Well, you don't... Well, I didn't finish, if it's any consolation. I've been here...
Go. Come on, let's just go back.
She keeps walking with you. I've been here since practically the beginning.
Yeah. Okay.
So... This is more home than any other home has ever been home.
same for me. I didn't really have a home before I came here, so we just kind of wandered around.
I guess what I'm saying is, if something happens to the town, it's gonna mean losing a lot of people I care about.
I understand that. I mean, my wife is still down there.
Anyway, I guess we should get some sleep now that you're clean. And Lucas offered to take the first watch.
Mm-hmm.
So you make your way back. You find Lucas and Jeremiah. They have made sure the horses are watered and fed. Jeremiah is kind of sitting under, like, outside the tent, sort of like looking at his book in the starlight that's there, kind of squinting down at it. And as you come in, he kind of folds it up and puts it in his pocket. And Lucas just nods at you both, and he's like, get some rest. I'll take the first watch, and we can figure out what we're going to do first thing tomorrow. We had a long day.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
Don't worry. I saw a couple of our friends wandering around up the hill right over there, keeping an eye too.
I saw a pair of eyes from one of them.
All right.
I think we actually managed to make friends with the Sasquatch. Or at least have a working relationship that we have each other's back.
I'll believe it when if things actually come down to a fight. If they got your back, they'll have your back. But at least for now, I don't think they're dangerous to us.
Yeah. That's what I think.
And he just nods toward the tent. He's like, get some shut-eye. And he walks back over, and you see him check his gun. And he kind of settles in and pulls his blanket up over his shoulders just to keep himself warm as the night gets cold out here. And I think with that, we will close out to black for the night and come back next session as everyone is camped at the base of the mountain.
I thought I was done with emotional roleplay. Stupid.
Oh, come on. It's
Kinda
good
narrow.
times. All right, so we will leave it there as the party has settled in for the night at the bottom of the hill. In the hills above them, there's some kind of operation being taken care of by these flying bug people. Their Sasquatch friends are looming somewhere nearby, keeping an eye on them, making sure they're safe. And we'll see what happens next time. So why don't we do you guys have, let's see, Jamie, do you have any plugs or anything like that you want to?
This Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time now. I think that's the correct one. Anyway, on twitch.tv/PowerscoreRPG, I'm still guessing in Dungeon of the Mad Mage. I think Saturday may be my last session guesting. We'll find out. I may die again. Who knows? And that is all I've got.
Awesome. And Brooke, how about you?
So my normal Sunday game is off because it's Easter. But I will be back on Monday on my own channel, running a game of D&D set in the Ravnica setting, where things are gonna start to get real for the party. They just leveled up for the first time, although I didn't start them at base level, and this is where plot starts happening, so I'm pretty excited.
Yay!
Yay!
Excellent. And I'm Jeanette, and you can find me here every other Monday playing some Cthulhu with these fine people, as well as the other two who are, going to be back next week, or 2 weeks from now. And then every other Sunday, so it would be next Sunday, but it is Easter, and I think that I have plans. So we're probably going to postpone till 2 weeks after that, but every other Sunday we do D&D 5e. We're doing Skull and Shackles, which was a Pathfinder game that I'm converting to 5e, and it's usually at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And other than that, you can catch me on Power Score RPG's Dungeon of the Mad Mage on Saturdays, and on Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern on Dammit Barry's Twitch channel. I am playing a Tiefling cleric in the Horde of the Dragon Queen, and it is quite a lot of fun, and we are quite a mess, and it's fantastic. So
Sorry, I should mention my game is at the same time as this game.
yes.
So 6 Central Time or 7 Eastern Time.
Yes, always good to mention times, because I forget that all the time too. But yeah, otherwise we'll be back in 2 weeks to see what happens with this crew. I don't know.
I feel like we're getting down to the end. Like, we gotta make some decisions on what's gonna happen.
Some lucky dice rolling tonight, or unlucky dice rolling. Who knows? But yeah, we will find out next time. So thanks for coming along, and thanks for checking us out later on YouTube or on podcast. And if you like what I do, I also started a Patreon, and the link's below, to try and improve streaming stuff. So yeah, we're doing stuff like that. So thanks everybody. Thank you guys for playing, and we'll see you soon. Goodbye, friends. Don't worry.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.